The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Erick Gantt, and I'm very excited to host this introduction to our brand new online training course. Just a quick note here before we get started that I will be taking your questions at the end of this presentation if you have any. The GoToWebinar interface does provide a section that's labeled questions where you can type in your question actually at any time during the presentation, and I will try to get to those at the end of the presentation. So let's jump right in. What exactly is Pointwise Mesh Generation Foundations? So we're very excited to have just released this brand new course that's a culmination of over a year of effort of several of us on our staff. The class is designed to be an on-demand class for you that you can take anywhere, anytime, at work or at home. It provides a very flexible learning atmosphere in that you can take or use the material in any order that you want to. There's no fixed path that you have to take through the course material. So it does give you that flexibility to focus on those things that you're most interested in at any given time. With a paid subscription, you'll also have continuous access to this material for the 12-month subscription period, which is a really nice reference resource going forward in the future, allowing you to go back and review certain features that you may have forgotten since you took the course originally, and to refresh your memory on those things moving forward. And of course, any updates that we make to the course during your subscription period will be included in that as well. It's a comprehensive class, much like our in-person class. It covers Pointwise from one end to the other. There are 9 sections of material. There are over 50 lectures in the course, all containing video, and that adds up to over 12 hours of unique video instruction. The course, like our in-person classes, is designed to be very interactive. It allows you to learn skills in a hand-on fashion because we do, for very many of the lectures, provide example files that you can use to work along with the instructor, just as if you were in one of our in-person courses, which really helps with the learning experience. We do provide our files for those examples, but you do have the opportunity to even substitute in your own geometry or your meshing project to try to work along and follow those features and tools that the instructors are presenting as we work through the material. The course also provides you with the feature of getting feedback, both from the course itself through knowledge quizzes, but also from the instructors themselves, including myself, John Dries, and others, that allows you to enter comments and ask questions directly within each of the lectures themselves. And we'll see that in just a few minutes. So how much does this course cost actually? Well, the really good news is right now, it's free through the end of this month, April 2020. We have an option in the enrollment page that you can just click on. It is the default. It says free to the right, and that allows you to take the course in its entirety if you have the time and complete it for free. We do also, of course, still have our paid option, the 12-month subscription, which is also available, and you can upgrade to that at any time if you want to during the free trial or after if you'd like to. So where do we find this class? Well, we have a new URL webpage specific for our Learning Center training course. You can find that at the bottom of this slide, training.pointwise.com. When you go to that page, you're going to see a landing page that looks exactly like what I have here in the slide that we're currently viewing. You can click on the Enroll Now button on that page, and that's going to actually enroll you or allow you to join our Learning Center school. And so it's, of course, going to ask you for your name and email address, and you can set up a password to get yourself enrolled in the school. And then once you've done that, it's going to take you to another page which actually shows the courses that we have. And currently, we have our primary course, Pointwise Mesh Generation Foundations. So having said all that, why don't we switch over and actually look at the course pages directly now. So on my screen here, you'll see that I'm at training.pointwise.com, and this is actually where you will see the courses that we have right now. Again, we just have our initial Pointwise Mesh Generation Foundations, but moving ahead in the future, you will see additional courses here as we release them. So that'll give you the opportunity to pick up and learn other new tools as we release those courses. And you can move ahead with learning Pointwise and those tools that you need to make your meshing more efficient. All right, so to get into the course and enroll actually in Pointwise Mesh Generation Foundations, you can just click on this tile with the image and the title. When I do that, it takes us to the enrollment page for this particular course, our Pointwise Mesh Generation Foundations. On this page, you can find a little bit more information about the course itself. We have a number of bullets here listing the details of the topics that we cover in the course. A little bit further down, you have the opportunity to actually kind of preview the course curriculum. We're going to look at this more in just a little bit more detail in a few minutes. There's some information about your instructors, including myself and John Dries, who have created the video content for this course, some facts. And then finally down here at the bottom of the page is the actual enrollment choices. And you can see the default is to enroll in our free trial through the end of this month through April 30th for free. And then, of course, the paid subscription that we will have available moving forward. So to continue on, we just click on Enroll in Course. And that's going to bring us to our thank you page for enrolling in the course. It gives you an order ID, sends you an email, some additional information. One thing to take note of here on this thank you page is this note box, which talks about the fact that we do provide files for you to use to walk through the demonstrations that we do in the lecture videos. You can use the share file link here if you'd like to download all of those files at once and not have to download them individually. But each lecture, as we'll see in a few minutes, does have a link for those files when they're available to download just the files for that particular lecture. All right, so when we've finished reading through this material on the thank you page, we can just click Continue to Course. This takes us to the primary course curriculum page. And you can see over here on the left-hand side, the name of the course. There is a percentage complete bar. So as you go through the course, it kind of helps you track how much of the course you've completed. All of the lectures are listed here in their sections. So we have an introduction section, the Pointwise interface, input-output, entity operations, working with CAD geometry, structured mesh generation. We have 2D and 3D unstructured mesh generation. And then finally, we wrap up the course with an introduction to the extrusion tools that we have. This course, if you've ever taken our in-person class, really mirrors in many ways that in-person course. And that's really what we wanted it to do, was to be a thorough overview of Pointwise. So let's go ahead and click through to one of these individual courses, starting what you would see at the very beginning of the class, a brief history of Pointwise. So this is what a lecture page looks like. There's some information, introductory information at the top of the lecture. And as you move down, there's some information about what you can expect to learn from that particular lecture that you're viewing. And then the video itself. And so right here in the center of the lecture is the video lecture. You can click on this play button. You've got the usual media tools that you may need to use, volume, etc., down here as you're viewing that lecture. When you've finished viewing the lecture below, you'll find a quiz that you can take to test what you've learned from that particular lecture. And then finally, at the very bottom is the interactive tool that I mentioned a little bit earlier in this presentation, where you can come in and just click in this comment field and type a question to be answered by myself or John Drees or one of our other staff members in the engineering services group. Also, we're happy for you to provide us feedback about the course. If you have some comments about some things that you would have liked to have seen or thought you expected to see in a particular lecture. So definitely make use of this comment field as you work through the course. So let's actually go and look at one other lecture just as an example. I'm going to scroll down here to the structured meshing and click on the evaluating the quality of domains and blocks lecture so you can see just what a little bit more advanced lecture would look like. Again, what you're going to learn, what you can expect from this particular lecture as you work through it. Down here just above the video is a download box with the file that you would want to download so that you can work along with the instructor as we go through this particular lecture. And you can see this is just an example image from a portion of the interior of the lecture itself. And again, a quiz that you can take and the comments field. So this kind of gives you an overview of our training web pages, our learning center. Hopefully it's kind of given you a feel of what the course looks like and how it's laid out so that when you join or enroll in the course, you can jump right in and get rolling. All right, so let's switch back over to our slides just to kind of wrap things up. If you are one of our current customers and you found yourself working from home and having trouble possibly accessing your license server from work, just a quick note that we are providing temporary licenses for our customers so that they can access their server and get their work done if they're having that type of an issue. But also at the same time, you could take advantage of that to allow yourself to take this course while you're at home if you want to, or from anywhere actually. You just need to be able to access that web page. If you're not currently one of our customers and you'd like to try Pointwise, we do provide free evaluations of the software. And so there's a URL here for that as well, pointwise.com/free. You can take advantage of that. And of course, obviously during an evaluation, you could train yourself with our free training as well. And then finally down here at the bottom, I would like to note that at the end of our free trial, we are going to send out a survey and try to get some feedback from our users that are taking the course. We'd like to know, how you like the course. What are your favorite things about the course itself? Maybe what's your least favorite things that you don't like. But also, we really are going to be looking for some feedback from you to learn what things would you like to see? What other courses would you like to see from us moving ahead as we add more curriculum to our learning center? So that'll be really valuable feedback for us moving ahead. Okay, so that was really my presentation. I know this was brief, but we wanted to keep it brief and give you just a real quick introduction to our Learning Center and Pointwise Mesh Generation Foundations. So I'm going to take questions now. If you have any questions, again, please click on the section in your GoToWebinar interface that's just labeled questions. There's a little field there where you can type in your question and it should pop up on my screen and I can answer those questions for you. And it looks like I do already have a question in here. The question is, how long is each video approximately? So the videos actually vary in length significantly from just a few or a handful of minutes up to some that are actually more around the half-hour mark or even slightly longer than that for some of the more complex material. You should be able to tell as you go through the course how long the videos are. And actually, when you're looking at the course curriculum page, on the left-hand side in the nav bar, it does list the length of the video content for each of the videos. So you'll know before you jump into a lecture how much time you can expect to spend on that particular lecture. Thank you for that question. Another question that has come in is, are we going to provide certificates, training certificates for the course when you've completed? We do indeed have a certificate that we can provide, a certificate of completion for the course. So when you've completed it, please do just let us know, and we can generate that for you at that time. And it will show up actually in your account in the Learning Center school, and you can have access to it to print it out as you see fit. So that's a very good question. Thank you. Checking here to see if we have some more questions. We do. Let's see. Is the course geared to the latest release, or can you take it with an earlier version? That's a very good question. So, and specifically it says earlier version like version 18, which would go back to the original release of version 18. I would say that we have tried to develop the course materials specifically with the most recent version of Pointwise, but interestingly, you will find that the version does change a little bit as you go through the lectures, because we did start creating the content during the year last year. So there are times when you'll obviously see the latest features in Pointwise, and we do try to point out things that are newer as we go through the lectures and hopefully encourage users to pick up some of those new tools. However, having said that, I think that you could easily take the course even starting with earlier releases of version 18. It may require you to work around a few pieces here and there, but in general, this course is intended to allow you to learn the primary features of Pointwise, and there's not a complete focus on the newest features. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, so we got another question here. Will this training count towards CPD hours for professional engineers? That's a really good question, and unfortunately, I don't know the specific answer to that question right now. I have your name here. I can look into that after we're wrapped up and get back to you offline on that question. That's a good question, though. Thank you. All right, so moving on, we got a few more questions coming in here. The question is, if we enroll in the course, but we're not able to finish it before the end of the free trial, what happens then? So at the end of the free trial, we will actually unenroll all of the free trial users at the end of the period. If you've been unable to complete the course, you do still have the option to enroll in the paid subscription. Your progress in the course will remain even after you've been unenrolled from the free trial. You'll just have to enroll in the course again with the subscription. But it will remember everything that you've done up to that point, and you can actually just jump in and pick up right where you left off. So that's a really good question. Thank you. All right, so it looks like we've got another question coming in here. Let's see. If we have a perpetual license, it's asking about how much time you may get for support or for training. So With the new licenses, the training specifically is not included in the training in the license fee. We do actually provide a discount for our academic sites. So if we have qualified academic customers using an academic license, we do have a 50% off discount for those customers, and we can provide that coupon to those users upon request. Support is included with your perpetual license, assuming that you keep up your maintenance on your license. So that's a really good question as well. Thank you. Looking here to see if we have any more questions coming in. It looks like I may have covered everything. So if there are no more last minute questions, I will probably go ahead and wrap this up. Looks like that may be it. So let me just say thank you for attending our webinar. I really hope this has been useful for you, that you've gotten out of this what you were looking for. Please do go ahead and take advantage now for the rest of April of our free trial if you're interested in Pointwise training, and happy meshing.